Oh, he's having a moan. The other day I was confronted not only with the existence of Stanley Cups, but the existence of the evolution of trendy beverage receptacles. The same thing being sold over and over, but somehow each time better. And I thought to myself, burn it all to the ground. No, I don't really care. It's a giggle, it's a laugh. But on the other hand, I dare you, I triple dog dare you, write a little paragraph about how your Stanley Cup is actually an investment for the future, because you'll never need another one. That's why you bought one for $35 instead of a $5 one, which was just as good but didn't have a brand name. I mean, really. Newsflash, people. Receptacles are reusable. Olive oil bottle, that you've used. Just give it a little rinse. Take that down to the gym. Saving Mother Earth. And all that.
Woo! Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. Up in here, up in here.
In this shouty episode, I don't much care what people drink their offal out of, even if it is a brand whose name I associate with giving people Dockers smiles. Fair play. But I do care that they care. Well, I mean, not really. A bit. It is fascinating that a brand can create perceived hype to the extent that it becomes real hype, real demand, the must-have thing. Psychological. Why did the Hydro Flask give way to the Yeti and the Yeti to the Stanley? Desire for novelty at just the right price to be macro-trivial but micro-luxuriant? AstroTurf journalism that tricked enough punters into thinking there was an already huge demand, pulling the impressionable over the event horizon. Malfunctioning hippocampuses. Again, sorry if you have one, I think they're really cool. In fact, I think the only thing that is cooler than a Stanley Cup is you. Fads and trends are the acting out of complex social influences. Just like everyone wearing flares or hysterically dancing for 12 days straight, following trends is part of collective behavior, and trends can focus on certain products, behaviors, aesthetics. You get it. The cycle of a trend might be boiled down to new thing is different, new thing is cool, people want to be cool, there ends up being a significant portion of people wearing or buying or into the thing who are just into it to be cool. The thing is no longer cool.
Where's my Szechuan sauce? I'm Pickle Rick! What below Dum Dum? Rick! 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 I'm Pickle Rick!
Whether behavior, object, or hairdo, some trends are harmless, some are not. They are primarily fed locally by things like social dominance, i.e., no one's gonna believe you saw Mrs. Haberdasher on a broomstick. You're known across the Shire as belligerent and drunk. But should the Lady Mayor suggest such a thing? ... And, I suppose, this factor is more far-reaching than ever. Now everyone has a friend and product recommender on the TV that they'll never meet. Hello! Buy beans. Beans. You think you've had some beans? Have you ever had a can in your mouth and gargled it? Try that. Why get a brand centre cup when a cheaper, probably more practical alternate exists? Why pay 3 times as much to get Ray-Bans printed on the corner of your aviators when the 21s are made in the same factory from the same parts? And your name's not even Ray, it's Nathan. Why get your hair cut like the Jolly Green Giant's armpit hair? Well, maybe just bad luck. Maybe some people make every decision in their lives by flipping coins. But I'd bet dollar beans to Dolus Donuts it's identity through and through. Fear of missing out and appeals to identity might make the case that if you buy this new dress, this type of car, this type of lifestyle, you can separate yourself from the pack and immediately identify yourself as a special individual. But really, whether a product or not, trends sell the identity of belonging. Maybe not belonging to a big mainstream group, but belonging to something. Hate the basic bitch pastel life of the suburbanites? Well, you could just not buy any leggings or do your makeup like that, But how would people know you're so different? Best buy some different clothes and makeup, because the real rejection of this crud isn't what's interesting, it's the identity of rejecting this crud. Yeah, normies don't like ear gauges, so the really nonconformist thing to do is get ear gauges, just like all the nonconformists. Yep, doesn't matter, whatever you are you sporty, are you trendy, are you a goth, are you preppy? If you're anything, you're a poser.
Eat grass.
How will people know that you're a special nonconformist without a nonconformist uniform? How will people know you're different if you haven't spent some money? Of course, none of this really matters, and following trends doesn't necessarily mean anything good or bad about an individual. But look at it like this. If someone really needs a metal cup, maybe a Stanley Cup is a good choice. Most people buying Stanley Cups aren't buying them to drink out of. Maybe some of them are buying for others to see they have one, maybe not. But deeper than that, they're following a sort of mass decision making because they are insecure about themselves and they seek belonging.
Play with people who speak your language.
Pokemon! Promo cards! Meet new friends!
That might sound absurd, but it's more than just metalware in groups and out-groups. It's multi-layered feelings of belonging and identity. Why go to the salon every week? Why choose Paris in particular? Why Harvard when it's produced nothing but fart gas for the last 100 years? I recruit all my intelligence assets from Yale. Did all the kiddies at my school collect the Pokemons because they were all into it? Lots were, and Pokemon is very cool, I think we all agree. You know, enslave them all. But it became self-reinforcing to the point where it was noticeable if you didn't collect the Pokemons. As a trend that survived, its ubiquity became its driver. That's more extreme than most adult trends in the modern world, but the hysterical psychology is the same. Paint your kitchen blue because you like blue? Cool. I mean, you're an idiot, but cool. Paint it blue because it's the in thing? Well, that's surely an indicator of unfulfilled need, whether that be belonging or being dissatisfied with one's own identity. That too is not a bad thing, but it sure does make people susceptible to, yes, buying worthless junk, but really, truly, going along with anything. So there you go, that's the moan. Get a goddamn grip. Axios reports that Pinterest has an 80% certainty that the future of trends will be. The trends of the immediate future will be eclectic grand parkour fashion, badminton, and a jazz renaissance. Jesus, let's just skip ahead to the armband stage. Lorraine Alsace, who owns that? Also, having read pages and pages from Deloitte and FinTech corpos, they do indeed understand trends and how they work, but they can predict nothing past their own noses. So here are some of my predictions for future trends, so that in 2031, after I die, someone can edit these and make me look like a fucking genius. Alright, ready? In the late 2020s, the current style of having your hair cut like a combination of Hitler and a 15th century knight will die out and become extremely unfashionable, being replaced by boogie night type 70s hairstyles. No luck for me. In the 2030s, it will become incredibly popular to live in purpose-built cars, much smaller than RVs or camper vans, and still much more affordable than renting or buying a house, but still too expensive to live in if you're not making a middle-class income. This will be spun as a choice. In 2032, the cheese and chive dance will become so insanely popular that Dalai Lama will be doing it, but then it will become incredibly unpopular overnight and die out after Will Smith makes it his thing. And finally, in 2035, this will have caught on by then, this is like Pilates, but you can do it in your chair, because you're fat. In 2035, rebreathers will become very popular, but that will pale into insignificance as fashionable as it becomes to die from radiation poisoning. And I think after that, there won't be any trends. Good. Alright, thanks very much for watching. Good night, God bless, beans!